Hello, everyone. Bonjour, Liliana. It's nice to have you here. Hello. How has your day been? Are you looking forward to Easter, the holidays? Everyone has a day off on Monday. For those of you who are in the lesson today, what are you doing on Easter Monday? I would love to hear what your plans are while we wait for some more students. I would like to thank everyone for joining today. It's very nice to have you all here. The lesson today is different from our normal lessons. When you learn English, you don't always want to learn about vocabulary and grammar. It's really important to learn some of the other topics as well, some things that you might not necessarily learn in school. The lesson today is about the 7 wonders of the world. Hello, Corinne. Hello, Elodie, Aline, and Kaja. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for those of you who are new and for those of you who are here and are regular students. Before I start and while we wait for a couple more students, I just want to, again, if you haven't already, please subscribe on the button below. It should just be below the video. If you subscribe, you will get an alert every single day to remind you that the lesson is about to start. So hopefully we can encourage you and teach you something every day without you forgetting. And of course, we always try and prepare these lessons so that it's really good fun for you and that you have a good time. We are a business English teaching center in Paris, and our aim is to try and help you in this time and to try and teach you something new. If you would like to learn more about us and more about our company, please look in the description below. Thank you, all of you who have joined today, for everyone who is new, and for everyone who comes regularly. It's really nice to have you here. We have a fantastic community, and for me, it's really exciting and fun doing these YouTube lives. It's great to have you all here. Thank you again. So, we're going to start by talking about the 7 wonders of the world. Okay, it's a different lesson today. We want to try and have some fun. It's a Friday. We have Monday off. Unfortunately, there won't be a lesson on Monday, so Tuesday will be the next lesson. But today, I just want you all to try and practice your English and try and write me as many sentences as possible. It's really good that you ask questions and you ask for help. I'm here to help all of you progress in your English, and that really makes me happy. So if you ever have a question, please write it in the chat. There is no silly question. Okay, so let's start by writing a question in the chat. There's no fact today. We just have a very, very big question. So, what are the 7 wonders of the world? So let's see if everyone can name them. I have to be honest, I did have to research a couple. I think I knew 4. And of course, when I researched and I Googled the answers, I did recognize the others. What do you think are the 7 wonders of the world? Please don't Google the answer. Just think about the answers. Okay, so I would like to specify it's buildings, ancient buildings. So let's have a look. We have the Egyptian pyramids. Fantastic, Elsie. The Taj Mahal, of course. So the Egyptian pyramids. We discussed adjectives yesterday. So the pyramids are triangular. They are in the desert. It's very hot there. Fantastic. The Taj Mahal, a monument built to his late wife. A fantastic construction, one that's massive. It's beautiful. It's very awe-inspiring, you can say in English. Thank you very much, Isabel. So again, there are loads of different wonders of the world. I'm focusing on the big monuments. You are absolutely correct in saying the Babylon Gardens, the Temple of Eternus, and the Colossus of Rhodes. Correct, but I'm thinking about the big buildings that we can describe and make sentences. I also think these are more well known, so we can all have a discussion about these ones. But fantastic, you are absolutely right. I also see here the China Wall, Elsie has written. Fantastic, Elsie. In English, we call it the Great Wall of China. And an interesting fact about the Great Wall of China is that's the only wonder of the world that you can see from space. Thank you very much for your contribution. So the Great Wall in China, the pyramids, there's a couple that are still missing. So far, we have the pyramids, the Taj Mahal, we have the Great Wall of China, okay, the Colosseum in Rome, of course. Okay, fantastic, Veronique. Yes, and Petra. Petra is the sculpture, the small monument sculpture built into the rock in Jordan. A fantastic, beautiful wonder of the world, Kaja. And hello to those of you who are just joining. Hello, Nariman. We're just discussing the 7 wonders of the world to begin. Okay, a fun lesson where we're going to try and write sentences, and I'm going to try and help you structure your sentences in English correctly. Is exactly the old Mayan temple? I believe it's in Mexico, I think. Fantastic, a beautiful monument. We also have here Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. I think that's the only one that we haven't talked about. So Christ the Redeemer is on the highest hill or mountain in Rio de Janeiro. And it's obviously the Christ, the big statue of Christ looking over Rio de Janeiro. I am wondering, have you seen the Colosseum? Have you seen Petra? Machu Picchu is another one we forgot to mention. High in the mountains, an old civilization, Machu Picchu. Christ the Redeemer, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal, and Chichen Itza. Has anyone seen any of these? If you have, can you please tell me what it was like? What did you see? What was there? What did you do? Why was it special? Let's have a look at some of your answers. And again, if some of you are unable to construct, haven't been, as I say, every single lesson, we have a great community of students and they're fantastic at making sentences. So please read through the other answers and hopefully by immersing yourself in English, you will learn some sentences. Okay, so fantastic, Kaja. You've seen the Christ Redeemer. That's fantastic. How was it, Kaja? So the Colosseum, me too. I was fortunate enough to visit the Colosseum in Rome. I thought it was beautiful. It was really interesting seeing it from the inside. Fantastic. Panama Canal is one of the modern world. Is that one you've seen, Liliana? Have you seen the Panama Canal? I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Hamza, you've also seen the Colosseum. Fantastic. Naomi, I would like to see the other 6 wonders. I hope you get a chance to. Okay, so if you have never seen a wonder of the world, which one would you like to see? Which wonder of the world would you choose to see if you have never seen one before? Okay, I see some other sentences here. It's special because it is so big and beautiful. Fantastic, Hamza. It is massive, the Colosseum, and it's beautiful. I will say here, Hamza, when you've written cause, a cause is an effect of something else. So here we need to say because it's special, because it's so big and beautiful. But a fantastic sentence, Hamza. Thank you very much. So Kaja, you have a beautiful view around Rio City. Fantastic. I imagine from that height you can see all over Rio de Janeiro. I would like to say, Kaja, you say here, which goes around in a circle. So, for example, when you drive a car, you might come to a rond-point. In English, a roundabout. We drive around a roundabout. That is, there is a beautiful view of Rio de Janeiro. Okay, you can say there's a beautiful view of Rome from the Colosseum, perhaps. But it's important to say of and then the city or the thing you see. Fantastic. Thank you very much for your sentence. Okay, a lot of people have been to others. It's really interesting to see where you've been. And I can see that all of you have enjoyed visiting places. So again, today is about trying to encourage you to write. I'm going to try and help and correct and help as many of you as I can. So Hajar has written, I didn't see any of those wonders, and I'd love to see Taj Mahal or maybe Garden of Babylon. Yes, they sound fantastic. I would choose to see the Egyptian pyramids because there are a lot of history about those. Fantastic, Aline. If we're talking about a historical location, such as the pyramids or the Colosseum, you can say they are very historical. Okay? The Colosseum is a historical amphitheater. The Christ the Redeemer is a massive monument, a statue. These are the kind of words and vocabulary you could use to describe some of these things. Fantastic. Okay, so let's move on. It was a really interesting discussion from all of you. So now let's talk about, having a look at my list. Let's talk about the vocab for some of these wonders and some adjectives. So yesterday, we're linking these two lessons together. And remember, when we spoke about adjectives, we talked about the shape, the color, what it looked like, the appearance, the size. So try and use as many words as we learned yesterday to describe different wonders. So let me help you. So, the Colosseum. Okay, the Colosseum. How would you describe the Colosseum? Okay, let's think of some vocabulary. It can be an adjective. It could be any word you think of related to the Colosseum, okay? We really want to help you as much as possible increase your vocabulary, even if Italy or Rome is a word you want to use, then please try and write a sentence for me. The Colosseum is in Rome. The Colosseum is in Italy. It is near a roundabout. There are lots of tourists. The Colosseum is round. It's a circular shape. What sentences can you come up with some adjectives or some nouns? Fantastic, Liliana. It is magnificent. It's very interesting. It's an ancient monument. Thank you very much. It's round and big. Fantastic, Hamza. And when you talk about an object as being round, it's describing a very specific shape of a circle. So normally we don't say something is so round. We just say it is round. But thank you very much for your sentence and helping me point that out. So Veronique, you've written an antique monument built by Romans. Fantastic. Another way to write this, Veronique, would be it's an ancient monument. Ancient is a false friend in English and French. I believe in French, and please correct me if I am wrong, but ancient means something that's someone who's very old, perhaps a war hero. I did read this day, so please tell me if I am incorrect. But ancient in French is an old person, perhaps. But ancient in English means something which is very, very old. Okay? Fantastic. And it's built by the Romans. Okay? Thank you very much, Veronique. Yeah, we have some fantastic adjectives from Naomi. And Elodie has written, the Colosseum is a big building in the capital of Italy. Fantastic. Perfect grammar, perfect vocabulary. Elsie has written, the Colosseum is the biggest monument of Rome. We can see all the town from it. Fantastic, Elsie. And you've clearly described certain actions and things you can see from the Colosseum. Here, Elsie, it's correct to say the Colosseum is the biggest monument. You need to define where it is. If we're trying to describe where a monument is, we say in. So here, Elsie, you could say the Colosseum is the biggest monument in Rome, okay, not of Rome. For example, I could say the biggest monument in Paris is the Eiffel Tower in France, or the biggest monument in France is the Eiffel Tower in Paris, okay? It would be incorrect for me to say of Paris, but thank you very much for helping me write that out. Okay, perfect. And I think everyone else has written some really good sentences. And normally, as I mentioned, please read through the other sentences as there's lots of vocabulary and words to pick up there. So let's talk about another one. Let me try and think of an easy one. The Great Wall of China. You made a fantastic effort, all of you, making sentences about the Colosseum. What can you tell me about the Great Wall of China? So again, this is an English class, and what we try and do at Cercle is try and help and encourage you to speak English, make sentences using fun topics. This for us is a really interesting topic, and especially for me. We've tried to relate it to the other lessons, and we're using a lot of the vocabulary from previous lessons. If you haven't seen those, you can go on our YouTube channel and find our previous lessons. So again, can we make some sentences of the Great Wall of China? Again, practicing your vocabulary, practicing your sentence structure. I always try and point out the common mistakes that are made so that it will help you construct your sentences in the future. Right now, no one has asked me any questions. If you do have a question, I'm more than happy to help. So please, if you do have a question, please do write it in the chat for me. So, fantastic, Chantal. You've written about the Colosseum. It is the most fabulous building built by the Romans. Fantastic sentence. So, Naomi, you've never seen the Great Wall of China. Unfortunately, me neither. But what do you think of it? Why would you like to go and see it? It is, we normally say the biggest wall in the world, not a biggest wall. Fantastic, Kaja. You're correct. It is the longest and biggest wall in the world. Biggest, I would like to point out, you can use that in this sense, Kaja, but when we say big and biggest, it corresponds to something that is of a really great size. It's really, really big. The Great Wall of China, I think a better adjective to use here would be long. Okay? If I try and explain by writing it down for you, let's say we have a football, for example. So we have a normal football. Let's draw someone to compare the size. We have a normal football. Okay, it's round, it's small in comparison to the person, but a big football would be like this. Okay, it's the biggest football on the pitch. So for me, a normal wall could be like this, perhaps in a house. Okay, so here I've drawn a house, and this is a wall. If you say a big wall, in English, I think of a wall that is like this. Okay, a big wall, perhaps a big apartment block. Okay, so do you see the difference? Just like the ball, if something increases in size, if it gets bigger, it's proportionate to the size. Okay, so when we talk about the Great Wall of China, it's not really high. Okay, it's just really, really long. But fantastic, you're absolutely right. It is the longest wall in the world. I hope that's clear. I hope if anyone has any questions in relation to biggest, longest, what is big, what is long, please do write in the chat for me. So I realize I was discussing for a long time. Let's see what you've written down. So we have the Great Wall of China has been builded for protecting people from their enemies. Okay, fantastic, Chantal. I would like to point out here that the verb to build is an irregular verb. So when we use irregular verbs in the past, we can't add the ed onto the end. Because they are irregular, it could be perhaps with the vowels in the words, or it could depend on how the words end. But for irregular verbs, we have different conjugations. So the past of build is built. So the Great Wall of China was built or had been built to protect people from the enemy. And Pauline, I'm wondering how many steps there are. Corinne has very kindly written the length of the Great Wall of China. 8,851 kilometers. That is it's very big, fantastic. So if I look at my list here, I think we've talked about some of these questions as you've written in the chat. We've talked about what wonder of the world you would like to visit in the future. Okay, so I have another question for you. And after, I would again like us to try and make some sentences with our adjectives and our nouns, which we've learnt over the lessons. So, what do you think are 7 natural wonders of the world? What can you think is a natural wonder of the world? So I would just like to explain the word natural. Nature is a word we use to describe something which is not influenced by humans. If I say I like nature, I could be talking about perhaps the sea or mountains, things that are created not by humans. I could talk about animals. They're not created by humans. Okay, so fantastic. We have some great suggestions. Naomi, I can see you're questioning what natural is. I can try and explain further for you, Naomi. So natural is something which is a phenomena which has not been made by humans. So can you think of anywhere in the world, anywhere on Earth, which you might like to visit, which has not been made by human hands? Okay, please have a look at some of the other answers to give you inspiration. Niagara Falls. We have loads of waterfalls. The Grand Canyon, fantastic, Nariman. That is a natural wonder of the world. The Grand Canyon. I would love to see that one day. Amazonia is not a natural wonder of the world. Maybe we might not be learning much about English, but we are learning about geography and natural wonders. Exactly, Elsie. So when we talk about nature, we can talk about the sun, the moon, oceans and mountains. Fantastic. Himalayas. More specifically, Mount Everest is a natural wonder of the world. Has anyone here climbed Mount Everest? I would love to do that in the future, but it's very difficult, and I can understand why some of you may not have had the opportunity to do so. Elodie, you're absolutely right. The full moon was beautiful the other night. That is nature. Okay, it wasn't constructed by us. It's just the way things work, perhaps. Kilimanjaro is another mountain, but unfortunately, Mount Everest is the main nature of the world. I would like to help you out now. So again, I wasn't as sure of very many. So the harbor of Rio de Janeiro, where the Christ the Redeemer looks, you have coming out from the sea and coming out from the ground. It's fantastic. The Grand Canyon, as Nariman mentioned, the Great Barrier Reef, where you can go diving. The Great Barrier Reef is just off Australia. It's really close. Victoria Falls is a really big waterfall in Africa. I think Zambia, I believe it is in. And there is a volcano in Mexico, which is circular and cylindrical. And I do agree, Liliana, nature is wonderful wherever you go. Okay, so we've talked a lot about open questions. I would just like to finish with a really quick grammar point. Okay, so it's very difficult to learn every rule. So by doing small rules in each lesson, we can help you construct and write sentences in English. When we refer to a specific time in English, it could be a month where you're traveling to one of these wonders of the world. Perhaps you're in the city and you're talking about a time you'd like to visit one of the wonders of the world, or even a day. We have specific words which change when we talk about different times. If we're talking about the time on a clock, the time of day, or the month or year. So we have three words: at, on, and in. I am going to write a sentence and I would like you to write the word you think is most appropriate. I would like to give a quick description. So if we're talking about a specific time, for example, 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. when the lesson started, I would say the lesson started at 3 p.m. So perhaps you might want to book a business meeting or to see your friend at a specific time. You would say, let's meet at 7 o'clock. Okay, so at is for specific times. Fantastic, Elodie. Thank you for your contribution. We say on if we are talking about a specific day. For example, on Monday, it is Easter. On Sunday, I will eat lots of chocolate. Okay, so we're talking about specific days. So at is for a specific time. On is for a specific day. In is for a year or a month. My birthday is in March. I was born in 1995. In is for very lot of questions, just so I can help you out with this really important rule. Okay, it's a very common mistake and it just requires practice. So let's help you all out now. So, I am seeing my friend Tuesday. What do you think, with my explanation, what do you think is the right word to be put in this sentence? Do we say, I am seeing my friend at Tuesday, on Tuesday, or in Tuesday? Okay, Elodie, and for a specific period, what word must be used? Fantastic, Elodie. So, for example, if I'm talking about my favorite season, I like to go swimming in summer. Okay, it's very vague. It's a really big time period. Fantastic. On Tuesday. All of you have that correct. Let's try another one. I start my YouTube live lessons 3 p.m. I start my YouTube live lessons at 3 p.m., on 3 p.m., or in 3 p.m. What do you think? And if you do have any questions like Elodie has, please ask. I'm happy to help. Exactly. So here it's a specific time, 3 p.m. It's very accurate. So it is at 3 p.m. Fantastic. Thank you very much for your responses. They're brilliant. Let's try one more. I like to go running Summer. I like to go running at summer, on summer, or in summer. What do you think is the answer to this question? What words could you... Okay, we have some differences. On summer, in summer. Let's wait for some more answers. What do we think? It's very difficult and there's a lot of confusion. It's why we're here to practice. I can see there's a confusion between in and on. Summer is a season. It could be maybe 3 or 4 months, or in England, there's no summer, so it's 0 months. But when we say on, remember it's a specific day. So I could say the next YouTube live will be on Tuesday. I had a YouTube live on Wednesday. Okay, 2 days ago. Summer is a big period. And remember, for vague, non-specific periods of time, we say in March, in 1980, a year, in summer, in winter, in spring. So I can see, Nadej, you've written in 3 p.m. We say at 3 p.m. because it's very specific. I hope that helps. And unfortunately, we're coming... Yes, Liliana, in 2020. Fantastic, really good. So, unfortunately, we're coming to the end. Thank you for those of you who came today, old and new students. If you are new or you are an old student, please remember to subscribe. If you would like to have free one-to-one classes with us, you can book a telephone call with Alexandra, one of our fantastic sales employees, and he can help explain the process for you. The link is in the description. Please watch some of our other videos, and thank you very much for today. It's been really good to see all of you writing, and it's a fantastic community we have. So thank you all for your contributions and for your positive attitude. I hope we've helped. And we hope you have a fantastic Easter weekend. For those of you who aren't with family, we hope you get to catch up with them. And we will see you on Tuesday. Unfortunately, we're not here on Monday. We need to go and speak to our families too. Have a great weekend and happy Easter to you all. Thank you very much.